Seattle at Atlanta. We had a conversation about this one on Sunday night. It's been bouncing around between 2.5 and 3 since we first discussed it. I, I've come to the conclusion. I feel like you like Atlanta here, and I'm really curious what your power rating is on this game.
Yeah, I just like the number. So I had this game at 3. It's 2.5. To me, that's where the value is on Atlanta. You know, the view of this Atlanta team is they're not as good as their record states, but I don't think they're as bad as people perceive they are, right? I think offensively, there's a lot to like there, right? They have a two-headed monster in the running back field, and we've seen Pitts has looked better throughout the season at tight end, and we don't really have questions about London. Like, to me, they're pretty solid about what they are. On the flip side, Seattle, their defense, which, they brought in a head coach who's supposed to fix it, between all the injuries they've had now to that defense as well, they're terrible. I mean, we've had multiple weeks now of this Seattle defense just being dominated, not just against the run, but through the air as well. Like, they just have no strength right now. And that to me is why I don't really understand this number. It's like, all right, under a field goal, you're giving me the better team at home. I'll be the sucker. I'll take that number. If this number was 3.5, I could be talking in Seattle just because they do have such a good offense with Geno and those weapons on the outside. But, we've seen it for a couple of weeks now. This Seattle team just isn't that good. And it feels like, people overreacted to it, them being 3-0. It's the same thing we talked about the Saints. Me and you were not buying the Saints at all.
Yeah.
And they started off 2-0 and it threw us off the scent. Like we fell into the trap of, the Saints team's not as bad as people perceive. It's like, no, they're pretty bad. And then they've had bad injury luck. Same goes for the Seattle team. They've had some really bad injury luck to their defense. So people betting on this game, they're betting on this being a shootout. They like Seattle at the 3. I talked to a couple of professionals who like Seattle at the 3. So that's why this number is back down to 2.5. And I'll just take the sucker bet and the home favorite under a field goal in this Atlanta team. It's tough to think that they're going to keep covering all these games in a row, but it's just an undervalued team right now to the sports books.
It doesn't feel like a sucker's bet to me. So the reason I asked you your power rating earlier, instead of sort of going through all the research first, is because I was sitting in the airport, the at the gate yesterday, doing all my research and
Just firing off some bets.
clicking through my tabs and all that kind of stuff. And the Seattle team is middling at everything, right?
Yeah.
They're middle of the pack in nearly every defensive statistic, whether it's basic or advanced, except they are last in rushing yards per play allowed. Atlanta's defense isn't all that special either.
No.
But
they get no pressure. I mean, they don't have a pass rush.
And
I mean,
they have
good safeties. We'll give them that. They have really good safeties.
They're not very good in neither are very good in red zone touchdown percentage allowed. They're pretty low in the NFL. Atlanta is just much, much better offensively, top 10 in several categories, whereas Seattle is middle of the pack. So at the end of my research, I was like, okay, I think I lean Atlanta 2.5.
Yeah.
I just can't shake that they let everyone stay in the game. Like even the Panthers were in it until they got in their own way and they panthered. You know what I mean? Like the Falcons, every game they play seems to barely go in their direction.
Yeah, we talked about coming into that game why we like the Panthers is they can't help it at playing close games. They come into the game last week, they had 3 wins, one by 1 point, the second by 2 points, and the last one was an overtime fluky 6-point walk-off win against the Bucs. So I'm with you. Like, there's a reason to be hesitant about this one. There's a reason this number is under 3, but I just think it crossed that key number. That's why I'm just like you. That's why I end up taking Atlanta here, where it's like, not a game maybe I'll love it more come Thursday once I look into it more. But as we sit here right now, it's just a game I bet simply just because I think the number has half a point of value.
We're just playing the number.
Yes.
You know what I'm excited about for us right now? We have not wallowed in the idea that road favorites went an unprecedented 9-0 and that normally craters our confidence because we like to play against road favorites. We're just going through it. We're going through our numbers. We're going through our process. We're going through the research. I feel no jitters right now.
I like it because I think it's going to give us an extra point on almost every home dog we like this week, honestly. Like, the books are happy to overreact to it because they know Joe Public, the sucker they are fat. Their pockets are fat right now. They're happy to come in once again and do a bunch of road favorite parlays, teasers, straight up, whatever they can get on these lines. So historically, this should be a good week for us. We should be getting free points on different home dogs this week. And I think people are going to see this week. There's a couple that really jump out that live up to this.
I want you to remember that. We cannot lose focus that home dogs are still going to be a side we tend to like. And I just want to reiterate, flowers for you, Simon Hunter. Sunday morning, we're putting our picks in. What did you say? Chalk is due. This feels like a chalky week. Thank God we did that. Otherwise, we could have been staring at an 0-5 week.